now. Remind me we'll clean that window off. But it looks like it's really ripping that shit off of there, isn't it? Alright, Donna's fixing to do some more sandblasting. You can tell what kind of shape that was in before she got started. Just by the pits and stuff. So, clean down though, ain't it, huh? Huh?
Yep.
And here's a before and after. Here's the next one. This one's much better. Much better shape. But that's gonna look like that one in a minute. Now the back of that one wasn't as bad. This one was actually, well, let's see, spinning around. That cleaned up really nice. So Donna's getting to be a professional sandblaster in my homemade sandblasting rig that I built years ago to do 35 tires and rim, and we just hooked up our hooked up the dust collection system on it, and it's exhausting through that 4-inch just out there, but there's not hardly any dust. It used to be before I had this, and for a 4-inch one of these dust collector cyclone deals, they wanted like $200 for it.
Oh.
But these were only about 15 a piece.
Wow.
So I did a 4-inch down to 2 inches. And anyway, so that works pretty good. And we're filled back up, ready to go again. I figured we'd do it before and after. Pause that a second. So here we are, loaded up and ready to go. Still got some room in there. Alright, here we go. Should have cleaned off that window a little bit, but I know you can see, but you can't see the damn camera.
Okay.
Ripping that shit right off there, isn't it? It's one of the best sandblasters I've ever seen, and I've watched quite a few sandblast videos. That just smokes that shit right off there, don't it?
Yeah.
And the dust collection system works really good. I know you can tell, but
Yeah.
well, I learned a very valuable lesson last night. You got a light out in the back of your shop, stop and fix it. Because I don't know if you can tell, but when you see the two side by side, you can sure as heck tell. I didn't notice until it's freaking dried, but that is almond and that's white. So, oops. So anyway, how do you get a tire painted nice and neat like that without painting the rubber? There you go. I've had these for years. I'm just holding the camera in my hand, so, and this is a little bit difficult because of where I didn't clear everything off so I could paint this. So, let's see. And I'm using a hook to hold it up, so that further complicates it, but this is basically the way it works. And it works much better with two hands, that's for sure. Alright, now you get the idea. Oops. Oops, slipped out over here. Alright. Now you can tell. Huh. That's white. That's a almond. Couldn't tell last night. I didn't stop to get a headlight. But, and my light is behind me because this is not where I normally paint. But, there we go. Now you can tell. Yeah, that was going on a trailer, so. Another thing is, don't let your paint freeze. Because these things are aggravating. Going through all kinds of bottles trying to, and tip keeps getting stopped up, so I'm saving the tips and back flowing, back blowing and whatever. So, number one, make sure you got plenty of light so you can see what you're doing. Number two, don't let your paint freeze. And that's the easiest way. Of course, you have to bust them off the rim. The other way to do it is just put a heavy coat of Vaseline on the rubber, paint it, let it dry, and then pressure wash the stuff off. The Vaseline off. Cheers. Well, after seeing how that turned out and how it could have turned out, yeah. And then I went ahead and those were all rusty. I went ahead and cleaned them up. Decided to do something different this time. Since I'm completely cleaning all the grease and everything out of them, I'm going to go ahead and sandblast it, clean it up, and then paint it. And then take the cap off, and take the rags out of the bottom and take it in there and run it through the parts washer and just clean the center out of it. Because the rims have holes in them. And you can actually see through the the holes. So that was rusted pretty good. You can see the pits in it, but it ain't gonna rust no more, not for a while anyway. And those bearings are ready to pack and put back in there. It's kind of interesting that they actually found an old spring. Let's see if I can find it. That right there, from a previous type of grease seal. That does not have a spring on the back of them. A lot of them do, but that one doesn't, and neither does the one that's on the other tire. Or should I say wheel? Hub. But that one doesn't have one either. And didn't find any parts in there. But I knocked that out myself, so that was in there from a previous. And I noticed that, see that distortion on this bearing here? On that outer bearing? And one of them lets that bearing hang out a little bit. But once it's back in the race, it'll be fine. I decided to go ahead and put it back in there. I'll just keep an eye on it. I'm going to put it on the driver's side so I can check it easy. But anyway, I don't know why I'm doing all this. I guess I want it to look decent anyway, but the tires were pretty bad shape, and I wanted to stop them from rusting. So at least that part of this trailer job is done. Breaking them tires down last night. I set the forks on the Terramite and set the tires on those 2x4s and give me a little mechanical advantage. That was kind of irritating, but anyway, got that done. Got it all painted up. So all I got to do now is sandblast that one in the cabinet and paint it. And then clean it out, pack all the bearings, and it'll all be ready to go back together. Put the tires back, air them up, and we'll be finished. Alright, fixing to put the paint on it. Alright, well, turned out looking pretty good, didn't it? And wish I'd have done the other one like that. But anyway, one's good enough. It doesn't matter, it's an old trailer, and it's but it ain't gonna rust anymore. Not for a while anyway.